Okay, here we are. Got a bunch of diggers here lined up. A couple of boys to help us. This here is the Alex digger. Next to that is Svan, I believe, Svan. New one they're selling. Next to that's the Big Dig. They sell a lot of those on eBay. And then the Hearth Song digger. Children's needs digger. Some other children's needs digger. But anyway, we want to make a video to compare all these. Towards the end of the video, I'll get you a chart that will compare the thicknesses of the metal. The important part on these diggers, the part that you need heavy enough, is this top arm right here that goes from the bucket, that runs the bucket. The bottom arm isn't so much, but that top arm, do you want to work it? Make them go. The top arm as they dig is the one that would tend to bend if it's going to bend. Keep going. You can use the bucket. Okay, dig in. So you'll see that flex a little. Anyway, we've kind of done these in order from the lightest digger to the heaviest. So we start out with the Alex, not that it's overall lightest, but this arm here is pretty light. And then the bucket. We'll get here and see it. Metal is light. So you want to do real heavy digging with this. And we'll have to get you a measurement. And then next in line, as far as lightness, would be this Svan digger. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. I don't have it in front of me, but it's a newer one. It has actually a plastic bucket. Go ahead and dig with that.
The top white.
Anyway, it works pretty well. I don't know how long the plastic would hold up in the sun, if it would get brittle and break, but right now I can't complain as far as the plastic bucket. But it would be the second as far as the heaviness of this bar. This one uses, you know, it's wider this way than the rest, but quite thin, so it'll tend to flex. Go try this. The next is the Big Dig. As far as we're rating them how durable they are, it has pretty heavy arms. All three of these, the Children's Needs, the Big Dig, and the Hearth Song, the arms are the same thickness, same size. The bucket on this is a little thinner than the Hearth Song, I believe, just a little. We'll have the chart at the end. They do have these teeth that stick out, but they do reinforce them. You'll see some little grooves right here. So that little groove will help the teeth not bend, but the teeth stick out quite a ways. So I don't know if I'd be concerned about the teeth bending. We look up here, see if this is bending already. Now they do reinforce that with a bar all the way across the bucket, which should help, but trying to do this with my hand. I need somebody else to help film. Anyway, with the Hearth Song, it's reinforced down here and built a little different than the others. All the rest, including the Children's Needs, you don't see. You can see the basic design's the same as far as the way the arms go out. And then the way that the seat post is angled, but with this it's built a little different, a little heavier on where it hooks to the seat post with reinforcement. Though I'm not sure, you know, that part we've never had trouble with in all the years I've been selling these. It's just mainly this upper arm, so whether that's necessary or not, but you'll see that's a little different design on the where it goes to the seat post. On the Children's Needs, it's got go ahead and use that. Same thing, the bucket's thicker than these others. Now all the you know, these four first diggers, they all use rivets for the majority of the joints. See these rivets? Show you the other side. And then the only joint they don't use a rivet is where it hooks the arms to the seat post. They'll use a screw. So they're all built that way. So you don't have any choice if they come a little harder. Like get on this Hearth Song. Pin it. Let's get on this next sticker. Is it a little harder?
Yeah, really hard.
It's a little harder to move. I don't know if that's unique to this one or what, but you don't have an opportunity to adjust it. I'm sure it would loosen up with a little lube and use, but because they use rivets, if it comes a little hard to use, you can't adjust it. Whereas on the children's needs, all the joints have the bolts, and look at how big those bolts are compared to the rivets. You got beefier joints, which would help, but they all have bolts, so you can adjust these bolts and nuts to determine how hard it is to move the levers. So you have that adjustment available on, unique to the children's needs digger. And the other unique thing, you see these big washers. We call those safety washers. Operate this digger. Go slow. Just push the bucket up. Okay, push it the other way. Okay, you go right here. Then this keeps your finger out of the corner right here. So that's called the safety washer. Same with here, it keeps it from getting all the way in there. You know, at least it's round where you're gonna get hooked instead of something that would be harder. Show me on another one without that. Lift the bucket. Okay, right here, see somebody has their finger in there, then it can get all the way in there. Not that, you know, it's not sharp, but it's just more of something they can get their finger pinched on, and that's why these washers are on the children's needs. Now just to show you these heavier diggers, this is the commercial digger. You see how it's built. Look at the bucket. It has stops on it to keeps it from the arm from swinging. It'll only swing a certain amount. That's right. Yeah, I can't remember where they put it. Right here. If you look in this joint, there'll be a little stop. And so it limits the action. So it only extends out that far, and then he can scoop in. Whereas, get on this Tough Kid. Just want to show you on the Tough Kid how thick that is. That can swing clear out as far as you want. There's no limiting, but it could go the other way, you know, so the kid has to have a little coordination to run it. But it will dig better because it's not limited. So it doesn't have those limiters, but otherwise these are built quite similar. You'll notice in the base of this commercial digger, the round thing, that's where they have bearings for when you spin this around. It makes it smoother. But you do have to maintain those bearings as far as getting water or something in there. You don't want to store it outside. And then grease them periodically. This is a nicely finished digger. Commercial, you know, all the joints have bushings in there. The Tough Kid, you can see how big the bolts are that come through, welded to the arms. Just a beefy built digger. Look at how thick that bucket is. It's thicker than the shovel you would use. We'll get to the measurements later on in the video. And then finally, this is another version of the children's needs Sandbox digger with the safety washers. This one has the wheels. Look at that. You know, and the buckets on these are fairly thick. Not like the commercial, but thicker than any of the rest. I mean, not like the Tough Kid commercial. The overall heaviest digger here is the Tough Kid. So next we'll go to a chart. We'll show that shows how thick everything is on these and the weight and the seat height. So once again, to summarize, we kind of line these up as far as what we consider the durability, you know, obviously we're biased. We sell all these on the end, but they are. We can show it with the numbers heavier built. This Alex has some nice features. I like the hand grips, pretty nice. The way that it slips in the base has a little button, so that's pretty easy to do. But the problem is with this upper arm, use it. Callum, use the digger, dig.
Yeah.
It's quite thin, so push on it. I don't know if that shows it, but it will flex, and then
Start bending.
this will bend. So that's for light use, and then this other one is a real light digger, so light, easy for a small kid to use. Now you'll notice on the handle we're missing one. The kid's been playing around and pulled one off, but the handles do stay on pretty good on it. They just pulled one off. They are a hard plastic handle, which is unique. Just a piece of plastic with some nubs in them, so I hadn't seen that before. Just lighter, easier for them. You can see the little rivets. It's just a lightweight little thing. It's gonna weigh lighter than the rest. Okay, and then get on this one. Aren't these grips you're having trouble with? It's the big dig. They sticking better now. It seemed like when we first got it, the grips came right off real easy, but yeah, as they warmed up in the house, they seemed to stay on a little better. That was just one thing we found with this big dig. As far as these seats, you'll just see the seats. This one had a seat that just slid on. It didn't bolt. It's got little nubs and slides on, so there's no screws in that. So the kids are saying, oh, I wonder if that'll come off at some point, but it's not coming off right away. He can pull up, take it off. So I don't know with being in the sun if that'd be a problem later, but anyway, it's the only one that doesn't have some kind of screws. Just has, here, show little nubs that hold it on. So it's quite easy, quick to assemble. But okay, now go back over to this one, Pennants. Now all my kids on this one said something about the seat. What about the seat? It's hard to sit on the seat, Dave. Just the way it's shaped, it's a different shape. It's round and kind of at an angle. So they have a hard time sitting on it. As he digs, he didn't like that, and I don't know if the reviews have that. One thing about doing this with all the diggers, most people, when they get one of these and write a review, okay, they're happy with what it is, but they don't have anything else to compare it with. They don't have the others, so this gives you a good view of what they all are looking like together. Children's needs. He likes that seat just because it's flat. Has a little nub in it. Anyway, most of the diggers, they use two screws, bolts go all the way through and then screw on. You have to put the seat on all of these cheaper ones. The commercial digger comes with the seat already screwed on, so you don't have to do that. Just put the thing in the base and put a screw in the bottom that holds it in the base.
Would I like?
It's an Allen type head thing and comes with an Allen wrench in the package. The easiest to assemble is this tough kit. It comes with the seat on, just in two pieces. Just fold it up. All you have to do is put it in the base. Slide it down. And that's all there is to it. It doesn't have a screw that holds it on the base. You know it's not going to come off until you pick it up. It's heavy enough, so it's unique in that way. Is you don't put the screw in, and quickest to assemble. There's nothing to mess with. You can mess with the joints if you find them a little tight or loose. They have locking nuts on them. You can loosen them up, put a little lube on them. And that's the same with these other diggers. Any of the joints with the bolts, you can lube them up and adjust them. But most of the diggers, you like the ones with the wheels aren't on it. We show you how to put those. You have to put those on, and this little cap you put on, it holds them on, and you have to put the seats on. Okay, now go over to the orange one. It's kind of fun to hear what the kids have to say. What did you say about this?
I like how it's stacked up.
He likes these little double feet on it.
Yeah,
so there's
like
4 feet, and then every little foot has extras.
If you're playing at the park and it starts raining, it doesn't get the whole body.
Sits it up in there, huh? Up a little higher.
Yeah.
The stand. So take a little bit and use them all. It's getting long, but I'll move this out of the way, back it up, back them up, and spin around. Dig. Do that with one of these others. Use the big dig.
I like the big dig because it gets the white kind of snow.
Gets what?
I like the big.
Okay, use it.
Got the white kind of bucket for snow.
Right kind of bucket for anything, but it's heavy. You know, the kid should be at least 4 years old. This boy's 8 years old. He's smaller for 8, but. Okay, now go to this wheeled one. Use it a little. Okay, go to the Hearth Song, because these, you know, the other children's needs just the same as the wheeled one as far as how it works. Let's go to the next one, the red one. Spin it around, use it, yep, right there. Okay, it's kind of unique because it has this little screw on the top that holds the base in. Most of them, the pole sticks clear through the base, and you put a screw in on the bottom. Okay, use it. Dig. Work all right.
The little feels like it's teeth. Like the metal's just gonna snap.
Well, it's actually about as heavy as those others, so.
How it feels to me.
Just how it feels to him, I guess. But anyway, the buckets and the arms are as heavy as the children's needs. The arms, the buckets, pretty heavy, not as thick as the children's needs. Okay, go to the big dig, use it a little. How's that feel?
Bit metal, but it's big.
Hard to get. The bucket extends out a long way, so you got to get that right. See how far out it extends? So sometimes it's hard to get it going again because those teeth stick out a long ways. Sure, that'd be easier in sand, and this is packed snow. Spin around, do it over there. There you go.
Still. Forget the top already. I'm digging up the glass.
Okay, you've already tried these others. Try the one Bennett's is on. Spin it around. I mean, Callum's on. Load the dump truck.
Yeah, I know. I got it away. Not that good.
So he's playing with the Alex. Anyway, they all work. It's just, like I say, there's going to be a difference as far as how much abuse they'll take, depending on how thick the metal is. There are things that are good about any of them.
This one was the slide on feet.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of different since this one has a slide on feet.
But it screws in too,
yeah,
huh?
it screws in.
4 screws, so it's the same, but they added the screws on the big dig to hold the seat on. Whereas that Svan just has the seat. Alright, this chart shows different specifications of the Sandbox diggers. Start out with the Alex Super Sand Digger. The weight on that is 6 pounds. The Big Dig is 7.9 pounds. Hearth Song Sand Digger, 7.4 pounds. Svan Ride-On Crane Digger, 7.2 pounds. Children'sNeeds.com Sandbox Digger, 10.3 pounds. The Children'sNeeds.com Wheel Digger with wheels, 13.2 pounds. The Children'sNeeds.com Tough Kid Digger, 17 pounds. And finally, the commercial digger from Children's Needs is 14 pounds. The arm thickness. Now this is important. That upper arm can bend as you move the bucket, the upper arm that you see on these diggers. And so the thickness of that is important. We start out with the Alex. It's only 2.4 millimeters. Now the arm width on the Alex is 25, so they make up for it a little there, but you will see that it's fairly flexible and worry about that bending. The Big Dig, 3.5 with 20. Hearth Song, 3.5 with 20. Svan, 3.2 with 20. Children'sNeeds.com, 3.5 with 20. And so we find that the arms on all these are the same, and then of course the commercial, like the Tough Kid, the flat part of the arm, you know, a lot of it's round, but there's a flat part, is up to 4.4 and 5 on the commercial. And the width on these 30.5 and 30.2 respectively. Now a real difference we'll find is on the buckets. The Alex Super Sand Digger, Alex Toys, is 0.5 millimeter. Big Dig 0.9. Hearth Song approximately 0.9. This Svan bucket is made out of plastic, so we didn't measure the thickness of that. It's different. The Children'sNeeds.com jumps up to 1.6. So that's substantial increase from these others. And same with the wheel digger, because it's all the same other than having the wheel base. But then we see the Tough Kid, how thick that is. That's 3.5 millimeters. Same thickness on a bucket as you have on the arms on these others. The commercial, 2.3 millimeters. Well, what about the warranty on these toys? We couldn't find one on the Alex, the Big Dig, the Hearth Song, or the Svan. The Children'sNeeds.com Sandbox Digger, 1 year against breakage, and they will repair or replace if the frame or parts break on this digger. Same with the Wheel Digger, whereas the Tough Kid Digger from Children's Needs has a 2-year moving part warranty, 5-year frame warranty. The Children'sNeeds.com Commercial Digger, 1-year moving part and 5-year on the frame. So we see some toy warranties which you do not see too often on the Children'sNeeds.com diggers. They are different in price, and so people wonder, well, why do we have a different price? Well, you can see from the weights of how they're made that there is a reason, because they definitely will last longer with heavier metal. As far as the ease of assembly, I did not put that on this chart, but all these diggers, the Alex Toy, the Big Dig, the Hearth Song, and the Svan, all need to be bolted onto the post that goes to the seat, whereas the Children'sNeeds.com is already bolted onto that, so that's one less step. The Tough Kid Digger, all you have to do is simply unfold it and set it on the base. There's no bolting required at all. Whereas most of these other diggers, you have to put the seat on, 2 screws. The Big Dig, I believe, has 4 screws. The Svan doesn't have any screws, it slides on, so I guess it's a little easier to put on, but you worry about it staying on. And then you put the diggers on the base, and then there's a bolt underneath it holds them on the base, other than the Hearth Song has a little bolt above. But anyway, as far as the ease of assembly, the Tough Kid we find overall to be the easiest to assemble, and then the others will have a few little things to do, but the childrensneeds.com Sandbox digger is easier than these others to assemble because you don't have to bolt to the seat post. The wheel digger, you need to put on some wheels and things, so that's an extra step, makes it similar to these others. Thank you. Okay, one other thing that I did not talk about was the paint. This digger here, you can see some bird droppings on it, whatever, it's been sitting out. It's a sample, this Tough Kid that we got in the summer of 2015. It's been sitting out in the weather since then. This paint, I don't know if you can see, but you can still see the shine. It hasn't faded at all. I know the paint that we used to use on the childrensneeds.com Sandbox digger, the paint the factory used, would fade rather quickly outdoors. This powder coat that our current factory as of fall 2015 is using seems to hold up really well. So this Tough Kid digger, this same powder coat is being used on the childrensneeds.com diggers, and I know in the past we've had trouble, and you'll see pictures sometimes where they had some rust or paint chipping, but this seems to be a really good powder coat for outdoor and it's holding up. You see the shine still. Like I say, I just brought that in, been out since July. Now, I don't know how good the paint is on these other diggers. We haven't had them long enough to see how they hold up, but I did notice on this big dig, I don't know if you can really see it, but on the bottom of the bucket you can see some discoloration, and it's like you can almost see the metal coming through there in places, and what that indicates is they just didn't powder coat it too thick. You can see that on some other edges a little bit, like right here. Right here is the discoloration. So that concerned me that this powder coat, at least on this big dig, is not the best job. Like I say, on the other diggers I didn't notice much, but you'd have to have them out a while. We'll keep them for a while to see how the paint holds up in the weather. But like I say, manufacturers change periodically, but as of fall 2015, this is the way that it's done in the childrensneeds.com. That's Tough Kid digger, and used on the other, this powder coat we're impressed with for outdoor use. Thank you.